If I did that 100 times, I would take the points as the bigger bet. 199. Like I always do that. No. I know. Hey. No, it was a mistake.
Just love the number on that one.
It was definitely a mistake. Good morning, everybody. What we're talking about is yesterday at the Steelers game. Those of you that follow along with my bets know that I normally, in a game like that, if I like plus 2.5, I would play the plus 2.5 heavy and sprinkle the money line. But I accidentally played the money line heavy and sprinkled the plus 2.5. It was just a mistake, and I placed the bets and posted them on the site. Then I was like, oh shit, I realized it after. And then I was like, oh no, we're good. I don't need to fix it. The Steelers are going to win anyway. And then of course, the Steelers cover but don't win. The one time I make that mistake. Thanks everyone for the respectful words about Andy. Terrible news. A lot of times when things like this happen, it's emotional and it's hard to, you want to try to respect what that Andy would have wanted us to do this show 100%. Yeah. That's why that's not even a question. He was all in on this, so there's no way we were canceling the show because that's not what he would have wanted. As far as the slate though, it's week 18 of the NFL. Plus, obviously the last few days have been a little crazy. Andy was getting sick, and then yesterday we got the news. So I don't really have I have one bet. I'm kind of just listening. To see if I can hear anything. Steve might have to play quarterback on this show. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get into it. There's a lot of meaningless football games, which obviously making it very unpredictable, very difficult to bet. I do see that both Steve and Prop Beaver have a slew of plays, though.
Yeah, I actually do. I have a decent amount of plays. I think I have like 7 plays. I have 2 in the main game, the Sunday night, and then I think I have like 6 in the afternoon slew, and I see this guy Jabba's got 3 in the Falcons game alone. Yeah. So, all right, we got some plays.
I didn't realize until after. It was probably a mistake.
Yeah.
Steve Jabbo loves the Falcons game. He's got 3
bets
in
some Falcons ball today.
All right, so let's start with Bills Patriots, and from what I'm hearing, correct me if I'm wrong, Josh Allen plans to start the game, play a series or 2, and then we're going to see the Mitch Trubisky take over. He's literally starting the game so he doesn't break his consecutive starts record, which is mind-numbing.
Pretty insane
to care about something like that. But hey, Josh Allen, you can care about whatever you want, or the Bills can care about whatever they want. The number is -3.5. Do we have any? Do we know what the Patriots are doing, or Drake? Is Drake May going to play? You would think, man. Drake May started the game against the Chargers, got rocked immediately. At what point is it like, all right, just shut him down for the year? The way he plays, he takes a lot of hits, too. So is there any update? Drake May's playing in this game?
Drake May is going to play, from what I saw. He should be good to go. I thought he had like a hand injury or something, which is weird considering all the hits he took last week. I didn't think the hand was the thing he was dealing with. So I think he is going to go in this one. I believe the only concern really is Hunter Henry. The real thing that is missing here is from the secondary. Christian Gonzalez is out. Marcus Jones is out. But, I mean, obviously, as you said, it's going to be the second string Buffalo offense here. I mean, no go for me. I got no props. I got nada in this game.
Yeah. Toast, do you have anything here?
No, I don't. Yeah, they didn't even have anytime touchdowns for this game posted last night when I was looking. So,
Steve, anything in this one?
Hard pass. Yeah.
All right. So our poll, wow, voice is cracking. Our poll is 54%, 30% in favor of Buffalo. Let's see if anyone in the comments has anything for us. Nah. Go. Feel free to share. We're looking for plays, man. So if you have something you like, go ahead and share it in the comments. It looks like it looks like this is just a pass game across the board. Mm-hmm. On this next one, this line was at 4.5. It's been slowly creeping up. There are now 7s available, and I think it's reached the point where you could start glancing at Dallas. I mean, historically they play really well against Washington, but well, I don't know. Are you guys down with Dallas? I haven't looked. I just think at 7 you would lean towards the Cowboys here, but again, I haven't looked. I'm all ears today.
I mean, I didn't bet the Cowboys, but for me, I'm a Cowboys fan. Not that that matters to me, but they suck. But my point being is that it is a really bad spot, you would assume, for the Commanders. I know that they have to win, but to come in here and think they're going to win, I mean, I just don't know what you're going to get from the Cowboys. But after that huge win Washington has, now they got to go on the road in Jerry World. Again, not that the Commanders or anything, or Cowboys or anything special, but I don't know. It just seems like a weird spot for the Commanders for me.
I said that the Cowboys play really well against Washington in this spot. To give you an idea of what I'm talking about, these are Prop Beaver's notes here. Mm-hmm. Washington 1-6 against the spread. Their last 7 trips to Dallas, 1-6 against the spread. Their last 20 games overall against the Cowboys, 6-14 against the spread. Their last 26 matchups as favorites against the Cowboys, 6-20 against the spread. Their last 8 trips to Dallas as road favorites, 0-8 against the spread. And the over is 8-1 in the last 9 matchups in Dallas between Washington and Dallas. So very historically, if you've been blindly playing the Cowboys and the over every single time these two teams meet in Dallas, you are up a truckload just blindly playing Dallas and the over. So based on that, what about a Cowboys team total over? They're catching a full 7 points. The total's at 43.5. That means as far as a team total, we're going to be getting, 19.5 with Washington's defense? What about a Cowboys team total over?
I wish we could take
Do you trust Trey Lance?
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Lance Romance?
That's what I'm saying. We're not even getting Cooper Rush. We're getting Trey Lance.
I wish we could just bet a Cowboys special teams touchdown. I mean, they were running circles around that Commander special teams unit in that last game. I'll tell you what. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I would just roll with the trend here. Simply put, I mean, this is week 18. We got a lot of roster uncertainty. If you need to bet this game for some godforsaken reason, I feel like this is what you roll with here. You roll with the Dallas plus the 7. Yeah.
Someone in the comments are like, those are completely different Commanders teams. Jaden Daniels wasn't playing and all that. Weren't you saying the same thing when they played earlier this year and the Cowboys beat them outright?
Kyle, we were trying to figure out why this line moved from 4.5 to 7. That is why. Trey Lance.
I mean, is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points?
Okay, listen, I don't know, but maybe it's just the safety of Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush isn't going to do the crazy turnover-worthy play shit that Trey Lance does on a regular basis, where Cooper Rush is, again,
Trey Lance,
he plays within the structure of an offense, you know?
I don't think it's a Cooper Rush thing. I think it's a fade of Trey Lance on the lines. But I'm seeing Cooper Rush is going to yield reps to Lance. Do we know, is it all Trey Lance today?
I don't. That's why I said that. I had read certain things. I didn't want to. Sorry, I shouldn't. Yeah.
No, you're good. I just wasn't sure. But it's a weird Sunday because we just heard Kyle rip off a bunch of trends. Mr. Trend over there.
He's big on trends, this guy.
Strange times.
I actually like the Commanders when they were 4.5, but 6.5. This is just a stay away. Commanders still are going to be all full go. They want to win this game, but this is tough. Divisional game, 6.5. It becomes just you got to start to look at Dallas probably on this one.
Dallas team total over, guys.
Yeah, it's not a bad look, but I hate Trey Lance. I think he's awful.
I mean, what about everybody loves Dallas, like a Rico Dowell anytime touchdown, because we all know that Washington's running defense is absolutely terrible. And
what about a Trey Lance anytime touchdown?
I tried. I'm looking. There's no number for him. Trust me, I was looking.
I don't think the Cowboys are going to have a ton of chances for touchdowns. That's why I would stay away. But
wow, you guys hate Trey.
Oh, no, I'm the one who brought him up. I was literally looking for his number right now.
All right. Well, I mean, I think we're just getting all the bad games out of the way because this is another heinous one.
I believe the bad games are just going to keep on coming in.
At least I have some plays in the other games. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Hold on. Well, I just so everyone knows, don't be surprised if you're in the Discord and you click and you type in show sauce, you see Cowboys team total over on there in an hour. Don't be surprised. I just jotted it down. I have one bet open right now, so I'm looking. I'm in the market for plays.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to play Brandon Aubrey over 7.5 kicking points and plus money. What do I have to lose at this point, guys, huh? Plus money? Let's go. Kyle, I don't want to hear it.
Next. Houston, Tennessee. Very clearly, there are sharp bettors, sharp money coming in on the Titans side. It's now up to 1.5, too. So people are betting the Titans. People believe Tennessee's going to win this game. Houston is sitting Nico Collins, I believe. CJ Stroud's not playing.
Is that the case? From what I was, I would have to recheck the injury reports, but from what I was reading earlier in the week, it sounded like they were actually going to give the starter some burn here. Pretty much everybody's going to get at least some burn here.
Is that confirmed?
That's just what I had read coming out of the mouth of D'Amico Ryans, was that offense is going to get a burn for at least a couple series here, and then probably we're going to get some rest. Defensively, I mean, you're missing Jeff Okudah, you're already missing Petrie, so you guys out already. And then from the Titans side, we're going to listen, guys, I know you're pretty hyped to see some Will Levis. You're going to see some Mason Rudolph too. So you get a 1-2 punch here of Mason Rudolph, Will Levis. We're really blessed here. Another one where it's like, I'm not betting a game where we're going to see two quarterbacks for Tennessee. I mean, if it was just Mason Rudolph, I would have gone right back to my boy Chigakonkwo, or
he's not playing, I don't think.
Or if it was, that would be a tragedy too. Or if it was just Will Levis, would have done the same thing, an under for Chigakonkwo, because Chig's
he's questionable.
Splits are very dramatic with or without Will Levis on the field, but just can't do that.
So I just read I skimmed an article in Texans Wire from a beat writer, and apparently because of how bad the Texans played last week, D'Amico Ryans has changed his mind about resting the starters. So apparently he was going to rest the starters. By the way, Chig missed Friday's practice, Beaver. So it's uncertain if he's going to play. Tony Pollard also missed Friday's practice. Spears has already been ruled out.
I have seen Tony Pollard, though, miss an entire week's worth of practice and still play. So,
what do you guys think of an over?
I was going to say Titans first half. Or I was going to say Texans first half. That's what I'm betting right now.
That's where I'm at with Toast. If I had to bet this, because after watching the Texans, you don't blame D'Amico Ryans. They got to get their offense going. They can't. Yeah. They can't be this terrible going to the playoffs. So I think they're going to treat the first half. They're going to take it really seriously. I like Texans at halftime on the spread, which is probably -0.5.
You can get a plus 100 money line.
Really?
Yeah,
the first half?
You can get plus 100 on Bet365. I don't have Bet365, so I played them at a pick'em at Caesars. But yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I might tail that with you guys. That's actually really. So I thought they were gonna like vig you a bit more, assuming the fact that we're gonna get the starters in the first half. But like Houston, have they not been one of the better first half teams in the league all season? It's really the second half where that offense struggles. I like that. That's a good look.
I kind of like the over. These two teams played a shootout the last time. Will Levis, he gets another shot to start. I think he's going to air it out. I kind of think it goes over 36.5. Didn't these two teams just play like a 44-41 football game earlier in the year?
I agree, and I think we see a lot of fourth downs. They go for it. Some more just trying to open it up. I don't think we see some conservative game in Week 18, so I don't mind the over at all either.
And Kyle, to your point about that over, that game was at Houston. The Houston defense has been significantly better at Houston. I mean, we've seen them shut down Josh Allen there, Jared Goff, Tua Tagovailoa. I mean, Will Levis somehow went into there and just actually toyed with them. So maybe at home in Tennessee, we somehow see an even better performance. One thing I will say, Will Levis not as good at home in Tennessee, but maybe that balances out, gets you over the total. I like that as well. Yeah, I like these.
I just added that.
Tennessee
did win that game straight up.
So there's got to be a little bit of motivation for these Texans.
That's one of the two covers on the year for Tennessee. God bless them. Yeah, so I'm gonna tail that with you guys, half unit on that first half money line.
Prop Beaver, what was that again? What was that about your Titans?
That was one of their two covers on the year.
Okay. I just wanted to hear that.
Thank you, Will.
Someone just said, Kyle, the weather can keep it under. Let me check the weather.
I will say
it doesn't likely rain showers, 10-mile-an-hour winds. It says 40% rain. Doesn't, but if it does rain, that would suck a little bit. But
yeah, but you only have likely showers for like an hour and a half window.
Yeah.
I was looking at that too.
Also, the weather's fake. If you think it's real, then it's not real. If you think it's not real, then it's real. It's just, it does whatever you don't want it to do, Tell.
Saints, Bucks. The Bucks are laying 14.5. The Bucks need this game. They win in the ring. So they win this game. They clinch the division. There's no reason to take it easy on the lowly Saints. What do you think of the Rat Daddy?
Okay, I'm back in the Rat Daddy in some way here. I believe you probably, yes, there he is. Whoa. Is that what his line is at now? No way.
I read it right off your sheet.
You read it right off my sheet. In the open bets? I mean, it should be at 24.5. 35.5. What?
Did I type it
What's
wrong?
the Bugs name?
I
Foster
believe,
Moreau?
Yeah, I believe.
Oh, I accidentally did your McLaughlin number for
Okay.
Moreau.
Yeah, I was going to say, what on earth? I mean,
So it's 24 and a half.
Yeah, listen,
Yeah.
folks, it's 24 and a half.
It's 24 and a half.
In
not
honor of
35 and a
Andy,
half.
we're typing the graphics wrong today. We got to keep things going, you know.
You don't
okay.
have a graphics guy right now.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going with Foster Moreau over the 35 and a half graphics. Let me go ahead and pull that up real quick.
Over 35 and a half graphics, huh?
God damn it, bro. Now I'm all out of fucking sorts here.
I know. That's why I had to say something to let you restart.
You're a real bastard, Toast. Yeah,
I
so
purposely mistyped the graphic to throw
yeah,
you
no.
off.
So the real reason that I like Foster Moreau over 24 and a half receiving yards is because the guy's been a cash cow lately. I mean, he's cleared the mark in 4 straight games, averaging 40 yards per game, 3.5 targets per game, 3 receptions. And without Derek Carr and Taysom Hill specifically, 5-0 to the over this season, 42 yards per game, and that includes a 54-yard performance against Tampa earlier this season. He only had 2 receptions, 2 targets in that game, and that's with both Rashid Shaheed and Kamara healthy. Now, pretty much everybody with a pulse in the Saints wide receiver corps is hurt, and Juwan Johnson also enters this one banged up with a knee injury. For Moreau to record 2+ receptions here, that is priced at -380. And with 2+ receptions, Moreau is over his last 22 of 29 games, averaging 35 yards per game. Most importantly for us, this Bucs defense, they are a modern-day atrocity against tight ends. Over the last 12 games, they've allowed the 3rd most yards per game, 3rd most yards per reception, and 6th most receptions per game to opposing tight ends. And this Bucs defense, they live in cover 3. They run it at the highest rate in the NFL, 47%. Well, since week 11, we've seen Moreau dominate these looks. 3.37 yards per out run, first on the Saints. 0.146 first downs per out run, first on the Saints. 0.32 targets per out run, second on the Saints, only to Taysom Hill, who was out in this game. During this span, Moreau has nabbed 3+ targets in 5 of 6 contests, up considerably from his previous 10-game average of 1.7 with merely 3+ targets over his last 17 to 20. And the fact that we got a 14-point spread in this game and we're likely trailing the entire time, and I really love this one. I put 1.5 units on it, by the way, at 24.5. I'm going to retype it right now.
And just to reiterate, the line is 24.
24 and a half. I would
it.
play it up to 29.5. That is how much I like this one.
Fairly certain Steve has a bet in this game as well.
Okay.
I do, and I actually just this morning was talking to Discord about the Moreau. I love that one.
There we go.
Yeah, I think he's got a great chance to go over. That line's too low. My best bet in this game. Oh, it's nice to talk a bet. Here we go. Buccaneers team total over 27.5. This is a lock, guys. There's no such thing. I'm just joking. But seriously, this is a good one. They've scored 28+ points in 4 of the last 6. Don't forget also, not only are they playing for a division, Baker Mayfield has $2 million on the line. Mike Evans has over $3 million on the line right now. They're going to come out. They put up 48 last week against Carolina. We know how balanced this team is. Bucky Irving and Baker Mayfield, which, by the way, should be in the MVP talk. No, he's not the MVP, but he should be in the MVP talk. He has had one heck of a season. They already faced the Saints. He scored 51 points. I think they have an absolutely huge game here.
Okay.
They won't have all their starters on the Saints defense, obviously. Last 2 weeks just gave up 34 to Green Bay on Monday Night Football, 25 to the Raiders, which that's not easy to do, to give up 400 total yards to the Raiders and 25 points. Their pass defense, bottom 5. I just think Baker, he threw for over 300 last time against them. I think he goes absolutely crazy. And then the cherry on top is you got Spencer Rattler at quarterback. He's going to struggle. He's going to give him good field position, maybe throw a pick 6. He has 3 INTs in the last 2 games. The Bucs, I think, score 35+ here and just absolutely light them up. So I like Tampa over 27.5 points as my best bet.
Over 27.5 points. Looks like Werner's not going to play for the Saints either. Adebo's still out. Yeah, I can't see the Bucs staying under that number.
I circled over myself too. I do have one bet: Chase McLaughlin over 8.5 kicking points. I know we joke about these numbers and stuff that I talk about with these kickers, but I'm hitting at like 85% on these numbers that are over 8.5. I'm telling you guys, when you see 8.5, just bet that number. I promise you.
There's no way that makes any logical sense. There's no way. You can
go back through. I've looked it up. It is what it is. Anytime these numbers are at 8.5, I'm hitting over 80%. It is what it is. You can keep hating if you like. I'm gonna keep cashing.
It's like, just think of the logic of that. I'm betting this kicker over. Why? Because it's 8.5.
I'm gonna join Toast in
And
the
if you
kicker
had
props
your
next
finger
year,
on
and it's
the
gonna be
pulse
amazing.
of the kicking market myself, you would know that that's just not something you happen. It's like seeing somebody with their passing yards set at like 400. It's just like, obviously there's a reason it's a big number. So go ahead, play under if you'd like.
I'm not playing under.
No, play the under.
All right, so Toast is taking McLaughlin over. I'll probably just tail Steve on that Bucks team total over. Or honestly, this is like you hit the Bucky Irving over last week against the Panthers' terrible run defense with no Werner. The Saints' run defense might be every bit as bad as the Panthers. Maybe you'd go right back to Bucky Irving's over again.
I thought about it, but I liked Morel more. I really don't hate that at all.
Giants, Eagles. All right. All right, Giants, Eagles.
Woohoo!
All right.
We got Drew Lock
Football.
and Tanner McKee.
Giants are going to be without their left tackle, their center, and their right tackle. I think it would be who is playing for the Giants? You got Drew Lock and Malik Neighbors, Tyrone Tracy.
Who's playing for the Eagles? If Pickett has a rib injury and freaking who's their third string quarterback?
I don't know, but I gotta say McKee has some moxie. Dude was slanging that thing last
that's
week.
the kid.
I agree.
All right.
And he looked good in the preseason too, for what it's worth.
Yeah.
I'll just go real quick. I don't have a best bet, but I lean over. I just don't. I think Tanner McKee. I mean, he's going to sling it around the field. Maybe we get some pick sixes, things like that on either side. But you saw the Giants' offense come to life a little last week. Oh, well, not a little, a lot. But it was just one game. So I mean, 37.5 just seems pretty low for me. Maybe a Tyrone Tracy anytime touchdown. He's been crushing it. But other than that, yeah, no best.
I got good news for you. It's 35.5 now.
Why is it so low?
I mean, I think it's just the quarterbacks. I mean, you look at the offensive talent on the field today. There's no A.J. Brown. There's no Devonta Smith. There's no, Dallas Goedert. No Saquon. I mean, we got Tanner McKee throwing the ball to Jahan Dotson, who...
First of all, McKee was a beast at Stanford.
I think McKee's a beast. Just from the small sample size I saw last week. I mean, he again was throwing to A.J. Brown, but...
Where my
throwing some nice balls last week. I got to give him props. It was nice.
I'm telling you,
good last week.
Where are the Pac-12 fans at that remember Tanner McKee at Stanford? I'll go over. Sounds good.
My one concern is, did the Giants blow their load last week? Was that their Super Bowl, or can they run it back for a second straight win? I mean, they're literally facing a bunch of backups. They're 6-2 against the spread their last 8 trips to Philly. I mean, can they run it back? Can they get a win at the Link with Drew Lock swagging it?
I accidentally left the stream. You got to put me back.
Okay,
in.
Kyle left the stream back. Suddenly, I'm gonna add.
They can
it
still
back
me
real
though.
Quick.
Also, just off
Talk
that,
about Tanner McKee got me fired up.
The Giants fans are not happy at their win last week either.
My friend was devastated.
I was extremely happy. I had the money line.
Dropped to a 4th pick now in the draft. Yeah, so
I loved it. It was hilarious. I revel in the Giants' misery. It's fantastic.
It doesn't suck.
Okay, so Toast, did you have anything? I'm sorry.
No, I really wanted to play Darius Slayton touchdown, but I never did. So,
all right, let's go on to the next game. I'm inclined to look at Jacksonville here. We should play a side eventually.
They do own the Colts.
Yeah, the AFC South has like very notable historic trends. Like this team owns this team, this team owns this team. We talk about 3.5 points here. I always think Flacco's a bit overvalued. People think like, oh, Flacco. I don't know. Plus, he's a very unattractive guy.
He's probably the most handsome guy that's ever played in the NFL. It's not even close.
Everyone says Steve looks like Joe Flacco. That's why I made that joke, by the way.
I was going to say, what is happening right now?
No, everyone always says Steve looks like Joe Flacco, so I wanted to throw a joke in there. But I want to see what the poll is. Has everyone been in Jacksonville here? Mac Jones hasn't looked all that bad.
I gotta say, somebody said Brenton Strange anytime TD, and it did make me think of the Chigaquanquo over receptions that we did cash, I think it was like a week or two ago. That probably is the smart play here, to take Strange over receptions against this Colts defense that just continues to allow receptions tight end position. Problem is, Brenton Strange absolutely fucked me against the Raiders, and I refuse to look at him, acknowledge him. He's a piece of shit, and I hate him.
So what makes this one a little concerning is, looks like the Colts are throwing pretty much their starting lineup out there, with the exception of Anthony Richardson, and you can make the argument the team's a little bit better off without him right now, at least. You got EJ Speed playing. He's had injury problems. DeForest Buckner's playing. You got Juju Brent's playing. I mean, it seems like the Colts are throwing everyone out there that's healthy. Ryan Kelly, the center, who's missed a lot of this season, he's playing. On the Jacksonville side, they are missing some pieces. I mean, the left tackle, Walker Little's going to sit. Josh Hines-Allen, one of their probably their best edge rushers, not going to play. So the Colts are significantly healthier. Steve, what are you doing in this one?
Oh, this is easy. BTJ, anytime touchdown. Plus 135.
Thomas Jr., right?
Yep. He is an absolute stud that some people are talking about him, but he has been playing with crap quarterbacks. He's quietly just having an unbelievable season, even with these quarterbacks. But he has 1+ TD now in 4 of the last 5 games, 5 touchdowns total in the last 5 games, 7 red zone targets in those ones. He leads the team by far with a 25.9% red zone target share. He is absolutely peppered with targets. Last 5 games, 10, 12, 14, 13, and 10. Double digits every single game. Colts are average allowing receiver touchdowns. Just riding the hot hand here. I got it at plus 135 when I gave it out.
I hit on this. I took Brian Thomas Jr. touchdown score last week and it hit for me. Yeah. Screw it. Put it up.
Okay.
He has another touchdown score in the next game, so we'll hit the song. Or should we hit the song now?
No, we should do next game because it already took the wind out of our sails that we put on the screen first.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Toast, you I guess are tailing the BTJ.
I did. I also played Mo Alley Cox anytime touchdown.
Mo Alley Cox. Okay, that's
why.
Yeah, can I hear some form of
because I have nothing else to do today. I'm feeling a little lucky. He caught a touchdown against the Jags earlier this year. I'm going to take my shot. It's plus 700. I mean, I'll take my shot with Mo Alley Cox. I haven't had a Mo Alley Cox sighting in a while. Today's that day.
So people are saying in Indiana they have a foot of snow with 2 more feet predicted, but I don't think that would. This game's indoors, but I mean maybe fans.
Are you talking about the Colts game?
That's what he said.
Oh, I mean it's Lucas Oil Stadium. I don't think they're opening.
No, I know, I know that, but I'm saying he said that. Maybe he was trying to make a point about something.
We're just letting everybody know to drive safe. That's all.
Okay,
this
fans.
Is also weather
if you're attending
advisory.
this godforsaken game, for the love of God, please get there safe.
They also said it's Joe Flacco bobblehead day. Someone did. I don't know if that's real, but
they have bobblehead days in the NFL. Those stealing bastards. Who does that?
I know.
Toast is offended now.
You put the lock.
Kind of a little bit yeah. I mean,
let's go to the next game.
All right.
So I might have a play on that. Touchdown song.
Okay, let's hit it.
Anytime scoring and running. Anytime touchdown scoring. Anytime you need touchdown. Yeah.
All right, Steve, hit us with your touchdown score.
Yeah, lead the way, my friend.
Oh, just sit back. I got 3. Here we go. Not 3 touchdowns, but 3 bets. Let's start right off with that touchdown. The old man, Adam Thielen, anytime touchdown, plus 225. He has had a good last month of the season. 3 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks. He's been the go-to guy. Steady targets, 2, 10, 11, 7, 6, and 6. 3 of his last 10 catches have been for touchdowns. And now we're talking about the dream matchup. The Falcons have allowed the most touchdowns to the wide receiver position in the entire league with 21. We're getting over 2-1 on this kind of guy. Just absolutely love it. Adam Thielen. And then let's go back to my first bet. Over 47.5 in this one. These NFC South games have been absolute shootouts. These 2 teams are 9-1 to the over in divisional games this season. The NFC South games right now are averaging 54 points per game. It's crazy. Panthers, we know, awful defensively, one of the worst run defenses in the history of the NFL, and they don't get much pressure at all. Penix has looked pretty good so far, I think, for being thrown in there. Panthers offense been better lately. Last 2 weeks kind of been hit and miss, but Bryce Young playing better, 9 TDs, 3 interceptions. Obviously, we've seen him. They scored 20 versus Atlanta earlier this year. I think their offense is better now. And they've scored 22 or more points in 3 of the last 5, which is saying a lot for Carolina. So not having Hubbard obviously isn't ideal, but the Falcons defense, another defense that just doesn't get pressure on the quarterback. They couldn't stop Washington last week. Before that, they faced some weak offenses with the Giants and Raiders. So overall, really, we're just talking some NFC South games that have been going crazy. Two defenses that cannot get pressure. These guys had 58 points in their last matchup. I see a 30-24 type game. So give me the over 47.5. And then my other one, my final one. This is the game of the year, by the way, this Falcons-Panthers game. Bijan Robinson, over 17.5 yards longest rush. I had to find a way to fade this Panthers run defense. His run total or his rush yards total is, I think, right around 100 right now. It was a little too high for me. So this is another way I like to do it. So the Panthers run defense, recent running backs in their longest rush, Bucky Irving, 34, James Conner, 40, Saquon Barkley, 18, Gainwell in that same game had a 20-yard rush. Bucky Irving, again, 43, Rashad White, 38. They've allowed 6 running backs to have a longest rush over this in the last 5 games. They're allowing the most yards per attempt, obviously. I mean, if we're talking, if based on the lines, we're thinking Bijan gets 18 to 20 carries and around 100 yards. I can't imagine he doesn't just break 1 for 18 against this defense. It is atrocious. Right at the snap, they get pushed back every single time, it looks like. Bijan himself has only been over this line in 3 of 10, and maybe that's why we're getting this kind of a lower line. But I think Bijan has one long run. Give me the over. Give me Thielen. Give me a 3-0, baby.
I like that over. That's the way I'd go here. Panthers defense is terrible. I know Penix has had his problem. I mean, last week Penix didn't look. He made some plays. The Falcons were in the game, but there are also times where he didn't look all that great. But I don't care. Because the Panthers defense is terrible. The Falcons should be able to run the ball. This should be a very quote unquote easy game for Penix. Should take what the defense is giving him. The defense is going to give him a lot. And on the other side of the ball, Bryce Young just keeps making plays. I'm torn between Falcons team total over and over, but I mean, like Steve was talking about, Bryce Young just keeps making plays under pressure. That back foot miracle throw. I don't know how he's so accurate with that throw, but he is just running backwards off his back foot, throws up what looks like a prayer, somehow drops into Thielen's hands at a high rate. So yeah, I think this one goes over.
Yeah, and this one, I played Bijan. I got it over 18.5 rush attempts yesterday, minus 130, but you could get that 19.5 right now. Should be pretty low vig, if not plus money, plus 100 across the board. Honestly, I kind of wish I just waited and got that plus 100. More value to me. So, yeah, I really like this one. Bijan has now cleared the mark his last 7 to 10 games, averaging 19.4 after going under his first 6 contests of the season, averaging just 13.7. That includes 3 straight at home, averaging more than 20 per game. Now, it's going to face a Panthers defense where it's pretty simple. Just run the damn ball, and you're going to beat the living shit out of this team. I mean, Panthers rush defense, dead last in yards per carry, success rate, EPA, DVOA, adjusted line yards, run defense grade. I could go on and on. I mean, this is the worst rush defense you've ever seen. Since week 9 specifically, the Panthers are allowing, get this, 200 rushing yards per game, 5.8 yards per carry, and a 51 success rate. I mean, my Christ, take out James Conner, who got injured mid-game, and 12 of 15 opposing running backs to face Carolina have cashed their rush attempts line, including an opposing running back with 20-plus attempts in 4 straight. And a game where the Falcons are 8-point favorites. I truly see no point in overthinking this. Just take Bijan over rush attempts.
All right.
And real quick, I just wanted to point out, I don't know what you guys think about this, but if the Bucks are up, 24, 27 points, only worries on some of these bets is if the Falcons are like, we don't want Bijan to get hurt, we don't want these guys to get hurt. Like this, the division's over. I don't know if that happens in the middle of the games, but just something to keep an eye on.
Yeah,
I sprinkled Algier touchdown just for that same type of reason. It's his Bijan's numbers like minus 250 to score. Algier's plus, I got it at plus 250. And by the way, that Thielen line's down, but you can still get it at plus 190 on Caesars, just for the record.
All right, let's move on to the next game.
I know the Panthers are trash, but I don't think they're that trash. I think this will be relatively competitive.
Bears Packers 9.5. I mean, it's tough to look at the Bears right now. The team seems to have quit on poor Caleb. Do think some of the criticism of Caleb Williams has been unfair. I mean, he's looked really good at times recently, and there was a couple games where I watched the entire game. Caleb Williams played pretty well. The Bears were towards the top and drop passes. I mean, Caleb Williams was under pressure immediately upon touching the ball. There were drop passes, and the criticism was on Twitter was like, I don't think I've ever seen a quarterback as bad as Caleb Williams. I think that that's a little ridiculous, but regardless, I mean, the defense, I don't know. This defense was allowing like 36 points per game over a 4-game stretch. It looked like the defense had completely quit, and then they hold Seattle to 6 points and played a really good defensive game. So I don't know where to expect the data point to land on this one. I guess Green Bay. I really don't know. I have no idea. Do you guys have anything?
Somebody in our Discord asked me their opinion on whether they should take the Green Bay first half spread or take the Bears first half team total under 6.5. And they kind of put me on to the idea of a potential Green Bay first half bet. I mean, I think the first half spread, let me go ahead and get it. I think it's going to be at about 6.5. I mean, this Bears team, we know their offense, for the love of God, they don't know how to start a game off correctly. They score, like 3 points per game in the first half? They do nothing offensively in the first half. And then the second half of games is where we really start to see this offense come together. I mean, this Bears defense before that Seahawks game, let's not forget just how pathetic that unit was looking. Then Geno Smith, who is arguably one of the worst road favorites in all of football, comes into town. And that defense all of a sudden looks like somewhat respectable. I don't really know about that. This Packers offense, one of the most potent in football. The first half spread is unfortunately 7 and even 7. I don't know if I love that. If I could have got that 6.5, that would have been much better. Yeah, I think I only lean the Green Bay first half here. I think the Packers offense is potent enough to just simply make them pay. What do the Packers love to do? Run the ball. What do the Bears can't do? They can't stop the run. So I think if Josh Jacobs gets going early here, Caleb Williams and the offense just start slow like they normally do here, then yeah, Packers are leading early here by a touchdown or more. Maybe you have push potential at that even 7, but that'd be the only way I lean here. Packers first half -7.
Toast.
I got nothing in this one.
Oh, the other thing I meant to add is the fact that they actually do have motivation to win as well with the with them trying to lock in a 6 seed instead of a 7. They're, I think, waiting on the Commanders game as well. So
so someone just said Caleb Williams holds on to the ball long. This is like the perfect example, and I'm not picking on this person. In time to throw, Caleb Williams is 24th in the NFL. Quicker than Jaden Daniels holds on to the ball longer than Caleb Williams. Bo Nix holds on to the ball longer than Caleb Williams. So in the rookies that they're comparing him, he actually gets rid of the ball quicker than both those guys. I think people just don't like him because of the nail painting, and old school football fans hate that shit. And look, I get it. I'm not saying like advocating for it. I'm just saying people want to not like him because of that. So yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, no, I kind of like that first half play. There's actually a time this year, I think it was a couple weeks ago, I looked up first half points per game for teams in the last 3, and it said Bears 0.0. Like,
I mean, they're just bad, dude.
They've been so bad in the first half. But yes, the Packers do want to win this game, I think. Well, I mean, they do want it for the 6th seed, but they also need the Cowboys to beat the Commanders, which, obviously is not going to be easy. So
yeah.
My best bet in this game, though, it has some speculation involved in it, is Jordan Love under 217.5 pass yards. The speculation here is there's a real chance the Packers sit some of these starters in the second half. Josh Jacobs came out himself and said he does not expect a full workload. So if we see the Commanders up, Jordan Love doesn't play the 3rd, maybe at least just the 4th quarter. And then on top of that, this is obviously a run-first team anyways with them. Even if this was a normal game, Jordan Love has gone under this line in 3 of the last 4. 2 of those last 3 unders were also against the easiest possible matchups you can have as a quarterback when it comes to Detroit and Minnesota, and he still went under this line in those. He's under in 5 of the last 9 games already. So, like I said, even in a normal game, I think he has a chance to go under this. But with the chance of, first of all, them also being up big, and second of all, the Commanders being up, on the Cowboys, they sit him at the end of the game. So some speculation involved, but also I just like what Jordan Love and this team wants to do. They don't want to have Jordan Love sit back there as a sitting duck in Week 18 on a game that doesn't have a ton of meaning. So I think they're going to run the ball. I think they want to look at some of those young running backs they have. So I think 217.5 is too high. I'll go under on Jordan Love.
I was looking for an Emmanuel Wilson line, hoping I could get a backup running back, because I heard the same quote you did. I mean, Josh Jacobs said he's not running the ball 30 times this week. I was like, oh, shit. I mean, can I get a Brooks or Wilson line? But it doesn't appear that they're giving us that right now. So, yeah, I actually like that as well with the underplay. I tried doing that with Lamar essentially yesterday, but MV3. So.
I thought about placing his Super Bowl future on the Packers because Andy has been telling us the Packers are going to get hot and win the Super Bowl.
He did say that.
He's a diehard Packers fan, for those of you that didn't know that. Toast, anything here?
No, I was looking at like DJ Moore anytime touchdown because he has some incentives, not for touchdowns, but I think they might be able to get him the ball. But again,
No,
No.
Toast isn't muted.
He's
Can
not
you hear
muted.
him?
Oh, I don't hear him at all. No.
Huh.
Just when do you leave?
I'll leave and come back. I'll leave and come back.
Okay.
So what about an under here, 41.5? It's cold as Lambeau. These teams play low scoring games. I get the Bears defense had looked terrible, but you know what? They just played a 6-3 game against Seattle as well. I don't know.
We had both guests drop out. That's fun. Okay, so what do I what do I think about the under here? I guess because it's only me. Yeah. I don't know, dude. I can't do with that trash ass Bears defense. I think you're falling into a 1 game sample size of the Bears defense being like, hey, look at us. We're not that pathetic. Nah, dude, they are that pathetic. I mean, just look at the previous games. I don't trust them for 1 second. I think, honestly, like, we could see LaFleur. And, dude, look at what Malik Willis was doing, right, when he was the starting quarterback of this team. That Packers offense was putting up, like, 30 points per game. So even if you take Jordan Love out, right, and you have Malik Willis operating the offense with Emmanuel Wilson and co., I still think that offense could put up points on the Bears defense. Honestly, am I talking myself into a Green Bay team total over here? I mean, I feel like we're getting a nice discount on that team total over just due to the fact that, okay, Jordan Love may sit. Well, all right, Malik Willis was running the shit out of that offense. So I don't know. I personally would not take an under here.
All right. Let's go on to the next game.
Am I doing this?
Yeah.
Speaking of prop Beavers bets, we got one here.
Oh, baby. Yes. Okay. Yeah, everybody knows my love for Geno Smith coming into the season, but MV Geno did not come to fruition. I mean, to put that lightly, I mean, holy Christ, Geno Smith. I thought we were going to get a bit more of a efficient season in the red zone from my friend, and no, I mean, Geno between the 25s, good guy, great guy even, but once you get to the red zone, just not the man. I like the Rams plus the 7 here, and this is purely a trends play. I only put a half unit on it, but just look at this. I mean, the Seahawks, 2-10 against the spread their last 12 games against the Ram, 0-6 against the spread versus the Rams as road favorites since 2012. So they're already absolutely horrendous in this spot. And then we've just got Geno overall as a favorite. The dude just doesn't cover when he's supposed to win. 1-6-3 against the spread their last 10 as favorites overall. 3-10-2 against the spread in their last 15 as road favorites. On top of that, he's missing the entire right side of his offensive line. There's no Bradford in this one. There's no Abraham Lucas, who we actually started to see the Seahawks offensive line get a boost in their numbers, a boost in their blocking metrics. They've been so bad without Abraham Lucas. Now they're going to face a Rams pass defense who, what is their only strength? A decent pass rush. Oh, and while the offensive starters are sitting for the Rams, the entire defense, it looks like, is going here. So I think if the Rams defense is going here, they're going to be able to keep this game relatively competitive. I know that the Rams offense is going to be without most of their stars, but you do have Jimmy G, a relatively competent quarterback back there. We saw the last time we saw Jimmy G, he had Josh McDaniels calling his play. That guy's an absolute joke. Before that, he had Shanahan, a genius play caller. Guess what? He now has another genius play caller calling his plays. Sean McVay. I just think catching 7.5 points here at home is way too much. So, I'm going to be taking the Rams here. Another thing that helps, the under 9-2 in the last 11 matchups straight up. So in a low-scoring game, potentially, I see both teams running the ball. I mean, especially the Rams. They're going to try and get Corum involved. I like the 7.5 points here.
Everyone's talking about Geno Smith's incentive in the comments.
What, to win for $2 million?
Well, no, he's got to win, and he's got to throw 185 yards, I believe.
The Rams are going to take that $2 million and wipe their ass with it.
Okay. Are you done? Jeez and Christ. Holy smokes. First of all, I heard that we're going to rest some starters on defense, but did you just go off on a speech about how the Rams that Jimmy G has to not only come in and play, he has to come in and play without Puka Nacua, without Cooper Kupp, without all the stars, and he's just going to light it up and
cover a 7.5 point spread? I mean, did you see your boy Geno last week against the Bears defense? He looked real good.
Are you on Seattle, Steve?
No, I'm not on Well,
it sounds like you're on Seattle.
In a way, I am.
Like
so let's get to the best bet. Seahawks team total over 22.5. Okay, so yes, they are eliminated, but they have things to play for. First of all, Mike McDonald doesn't want to. He would become the 7th ever head coach to win 10 games as a first-year head coach. Geno, he has $6 million in incentives in this game. 186 yards gets him $2 million. He must maintain a 70.2% completion percentage. And I think he has he has a 70.2. It has to be at 70 or higher. If they win one more game, he also gets $2 million. There's a lot on the line for him. JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba, 4 more catches to tie Tyler Lockett for 100 receptions in the Seahawks franchise record. DK Metcalf, 61 yards away from a 1,000-yard season. They're playing for a lot here. They also want to avoid being swept by the Rams. That's never a fun thing. But also, the Seattle offense on the road is much better. I've said this all season long. They are not a team built to play in rainy, cold Seattle. Why did they build that roster? Who the heck knows? But they're averaging 24 points per game on the road and only 19.7 at home. Geno indoors. He has made 14 starts indoors. They are averaging 30.8 points per game. Team total has gone over in 12 of those 14 games. They are going to score. This is where Geno plays well. I think they're going to be very motivated. I would be shocked if the Rams defense played all their starters all game long, especially if they fall down by quite a bit. There's just really no point to it, in my opinion. They gave up 20 points to the Seahawks in their first meeting. I just need 23 here. I'm not sure where the love of, I do think 7.5 is a little high. If this was under a touchdown, I don't, would you have taken that, you think, if it was like 6?
No,
6.5?
where the love comes is 7.5 points, dude. That is way too much. I've seen Geno Smith face some dog shit competition as a favorite on the road, and even on the road, and he is just not good. So
it makes sense. Over a touchdown makes sense, but I think the Seahawks get to 23. I don't know what this team total is doing here. Like I said, Geno much better indoors, lots of things to play for the entire offense. So I like the Hawks team total over 22.5.
These two teams finished out the season 2 years ago. It was 19-16 overtime game. So as far as the incentive, people talk about Geno Smith's incentive. Correct me if I'm wrong, but betting those have not been profitable the last few years, right?
I'll tell you one thing. BetMGM has an entire page dedicated to the incentives today. I'll leave you with that as it is.
I'm pretty sure I read someone that broke it down, and betting those incentives has not been a profitable decision. Don't quote me on that, but do some look into it. I'm pretty sure it hasn't. I'm not a prop guy, so I wouldn't care.
It depends. I mean, obviously, there's tons of incentives too. I mean, there's the defensive incentives as well. I mean, there's sack. Honestly, I think sack incentives are kind of sneaky. But
for Geno, these aren't really bettable incentives. They're just motivational. Like, he wants to win. That's one of them. Another one is 186 yards. His total's higher than that. I mean, it's not even really,
You know what I don't get is why are the incentives based on the raw data rather than things that help you win? Like, why would you write a contract with an incentive for sacks? Why wouldn't you write a contract for the incentive of like pressure rate, like something that actually helps you win? When like sometimes TJ Watt doesn't record a single sack because he's double teamed the entire game. I don't know. Sack seems like such a weird stat to incentivize rather than something that's directly correlated with you winning the football game.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. For Geno, it's all because they pass his career highs. That's why it's in his contract.
Oh.
Yeah, I get it.
Career high.
They should have like incentives for aura for Geno Smith, and he would never get a bonus based off that.
Toast, you doing anything in this ship?
No, I'm gonna tail. I think I'm gonna tail Beaver because he's just so passionate about it.
Steve was also passionate though.
I have you to bet. I feel good about it. It's the only side I even remotely like today, but I feel good about it.
And it was a half-minute bet, but he spent 2 minutes when I got on the stream explaining it to me. So I had to tail. I tailed his under in the NBA the other day. It smacked. Rams up.
Can I just say real quick? I think I've lost 4 bets in a row on my Seahawks, so take that for what it was.
All right. Okay. They're your blind spot. Will Levis is mine. It's okay.
I was thinking Rams team total under, but Steve said that Seahawks may rest starters, so I'm good. Next. Chargers, Raiders. I got a bet. All right, this is the only bet that I have actually placed right now is the over. It's at 46. No, it's not.
I mean, I might have made a little messeroo, but
it's at 42.5.
Jesus Christ, man, that's a botchery by me.
Things are a little unorganized here, guys.
Sorry,
I was just waiting for CLB King.
I was about to be the CLB Lord for this one. I have the over at 41. So the Chargers need to win. If
you didn't make a graphic for your own bet?
What?
Never mind. I said you didn't make a graphic for your own bet.
I didn't make a graphic for my own bet.
All right, one sec, I'll make it.
So my bet is over 41. So I like what I see from the Raiders offense. I like O'Connell. He gets the ball out, gets it to Bowers, gives his playmakers a chance. And I think the Raiders offense is undervalued right now. I don't think people truly realize how much better the Raiders offense is with O'Connell than Minshew. It's not even comparable. So with O'Connell at quarterback, I think the Raiders offense jumps from like a bottom 3 offense to maybe like number 21, 22. It's actually a somewhat formidable offense, and I think they're able to score points here. On the other side, the Chargers need to win. Justin Herbert against the Raiders man coverage is not something I'm particularly worried about. I'm pretty sure Justin Herbert doesn't have the best numbers against man, right, Prop Beaver?
I think those have evened out a bit. Honestly, Herbert's had a weird season. All his splits keep evening out.
Yeah, he did a roller coaster
He's
thing.
just a beast, honestly.
But yeah, the Raiders defense is not something I particularly trust. So I actually think the Raiders are to get the ball in the end zone a couple times here, and the Chargers needing to win the game. If you don't know the playoff implications here, the Chargers lose, they have to go to Baltimore. If they win, they get to go to Houston. And if you haven't followed the Ravens and Texans, that's a big freaking difference, man. That's a difference between going on the road to play maybe the best team in the AFC or one of them to going on the road and you might be favored in the game. It's a huge difference. So, yeah, the Chargers want to win this game, but I do think the Raiders are able to score a couple times. So the Chargers are going to be forced to score right back. So, yeah, I think it gets up and over. I bet this one early in the week. It was the only bet I have placed.
Yeah, I might tail that over. I kind of like it. I stayed away from this game because at the time, I didn't know if the Steelers won, this game meant nothing for the Chargers, and then they might rest starters. But now that so I haven't really dug into it. But I would lean over. I got nothing.
Toast?
No, Lad McConkey, anytime touchdown.
Lad?
Yep, it's my boy.
Is your boy?
They're boys.
Yep. I learned it because of Beaver.
What'd you learn from Beaver?
I didn't learn anything. I just learned the guy's name and how good he was. And so I've been betting him a little bit, and it's been working out for me. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got nada in this game. I don't find it particularly compelling. So.
You don't find it compelling?
Don't find it particularly compelling in any way, shape, or form. No Amir Abdullah here. I mean, I'm not betting Alexander Madison's bum ass. It's an Antonio Pierce coached game, so I don't want to watch it. So yeah, next one.
That was unnecessary.
Yeah, that was unnecessary.
Stinks, bro.
Next up, we got 49ers Cardinals. Prop Beaver.
Ooh, baby.
Prop Beaver's excited for this one.
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead
do.
and set the poll up.
Okay, yeah.
You get Prop Beaver has a lock city here.
I don't know about that,
I'm probably
yeah.
just going to tail him, to be honest. But
I don't know about that.
Is this line still 4.5, 42.5 as far as the numbers? Let me check. Yeah, 4.5, 42.5. Obviously, as you guys know, if you're just joining, I don't have a lot today. The shit we're going through here, and it was a combination. Usually, I'm looking throughout the week. So by the time we get to Saturday, I've already looked at every game, or at least 95% of them. This particular week, because it was week 18, I was kind of like, whatever, I'll look Saturday night. Like, because I didn't care to spend time during the week. We had college football playoff games, NBA. I went 3-0 in the NBA yesterday, by the way, which is awesome, finally. So with the stuff going on this week, I was like, I'll look Saturday night at the NFL. I don't care. It's week 18. And then Andy, so I couldn't really focus last night. So if you're just joining, I don't really have much. I'm just a listener today. Prop Beaver, tell us your lock.
This might play. Not a lock. We got Michael
Carter.
Carter.
Hold on. You described it to me.
Fuck it. It's a lock. We got Michael Carter of the Arizona Cardinals, formerly of the New York Jets, over 57.5 rushing yards. Folks, the 49ers rush defense has been horrendous. I don't know what the hell is going on. Once a proud unit, just merely 2 to 3 years ago, has become just outrageously bad. 26th in success rate, 28th in EPA, 25th in DVOA, and it's a problem in the trenches too. It's not even just the linebackers. 21st in adjusted line yard, 28th in run grade, 22nd yards before contact. As a result, we've now seen the last 9 of 10 starting running backs to face the San Francisco 49ers clear the rushing yards mark, averaging 83.5. And the last 5 of 6 to face them, they've hit 100 plus, averaging 99. Now the same team is without their top 4 linebackers. We saw in their game against the Rams, Michael Carter, he took 72% of the snaps. He managed 13 carries, turned that into 70 yards against a pretty weak but much healthier Rams defensive front. And that was a game that the Cardinals lost. With just 60% of the snaps, Carter's a guy who's over his last 4 or 6 contests, averaging 63 yards per game. With 65% plus, he's over his last 3 or 4, averaging 74 yards per game. We got the Cardinals as 4.5 points favorites here against the 49ers, sending out a JV squad. I mean, not only is the defense trash, but the 49ers are sending out like third-string offensive linemen. I believe Kittle's like the only offensive starter besides Juwan Jennings. This should be a really nice game script for Carter to rack up the carries and the yards. I feel Michael Carter's honestly a really solid back who never got a fair shake. Jets immediately drafted Hull. Cardinals have an amazing incumbent in Connor. They drafted Trey Benson. This is a nice opportunity for a talented back to put his talents on display here. So give me Michael Carter.
Michael Carter. Screw it, I'll tail.
I have 2 bets.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I played both quarterbacks anytime touchdowns. You have Dobbs that'll be running for his life. We saw him last year running around for this Arizona team. I think that that's very possible. Plus his numbers at like plus 400 or something. And then Kyler Murray, he only has, hold on, I wrote this down. He needs a touchdown and 50 plus rushing yards for a $750,000 bonus. I don't care about the rush yards, but I'll take the fact that he can probably score a touchdown today. So I did play both quarterbacks to score a touchdown.
Do you know what Murray was priced around, perchance?
I do, actually.
Just so I could give the people a somewhat accurate graphic. Yeah.
I got it at 135.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Overpaid.
Classic overpay. Kyle's an expert with the touchdown market. You might as well price him himself, this guy.
Steve, what were your thoughts on Prop Beaver's Michael Carter speech?
Oh, it was beautiful.
Thank
but
you.
it's Michael Carter.
Is he muted?
It's
No, I
Michael
hear him.
Carter. It is Michael Carter. Just FYI, everyone.
What did I say?
It's fine. But I do. I was just gonna say what Toast said. I mean, Kyler Murray, 50 plus rush yards. I think his line is up to 41.5, 42.5. If you think he wants to get that incentive, that's not a bad look. If you want to maybe do a little incentive sprinkle of 50 plus rush yards and a touchdown, it's probably like plus 250 or something, 240, whatever. But I got nothing on this game. This is ugly.
So you can't hear him now, Kyle?
No, I can. I didn't see his audio track moving, but it's not on the screen. It's down, so that we're good.
Oh, okay. And yes, he likes the Kyler thing. Okay, so let's move on to the next game here. We've got Chiefs at Broncos. Nixie Dixie.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was probably the most talked about game, or one of, because Denver needs to win to get into the playoffs. And the Chiefs are resting. I don't want to say everybody. Let's say the Chiefs are resting most. Just a real quick. I'm sure if you've consumed any NFL content this week, you already know this. But there's no Mahomes, there's no Pacheco, there's no Kelsey, there's no Jawan Taylor on offense. On the defensive side of the ball, basically their 6 best defensive players, with the exception of maybe Mike Dana not playing. Chanel's playing, though. There's no Karlaftis, there's no Chris Jones, there's no Drew Klankel, there's no Nick Bolton, there's no McDuffie, there's no Justin Reed. So we're seeing the Chiefs practice squad here. I mean, Denver needs to. I don't freaking know. Do you guys have a bet?
Yeah, I actually have my other top bet.
Is it Cortland Sutton?
No.
Me too.
Okay,
No.
thank God.
Who you got?
I got Jaleel McLaughlin.
I didn't make a graph for that one.
Oh, that's fine. Okay. Actually, you want to just go so I could type it in, Jabbo? You start off with something, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's Marvin Mims and get it on, baby. Over 32.5 receiving yards.
Oh, Marvin Mims.
Last 6 games for Mims. Over this line in 5 of the 6 games. 44 plus receiving yards in those 5 overs. 62 plus receiving yards in 3 of 4. This guy is crushing the line. Sean Payton, since it was like 5-6 weeks ago, he's just completely decided to make him a big part of this offense. And then a deeper dive in the last 6 weeks. This guy has 383 receiving yards to Sutton's 414. Not a big difference there. But he has 334 yards after the catch. That is number 1 in the NFL in his last 6 games. That's insane to me. He has a 5.9 dot, which is short because he catches a lot of short passes. Wants him to use his speed, but he did break one, or did have a long ball last week as well. This guy is lightning fast if you don't know much about him. I think the line is just too slow to move, and with how he's been playing. And then the Chiefs obviously playing a bunch of backups. Not going to be as much pressure on Bo Nix, I don't anticipate. The only worry is the Broncos get up big and run the ball. But, I mean, again, we're just needing 33 yards. It's not that much. I think he can get this pretty quick. So give me his over 32.5.
Just to add on to your play, Chiefs, one of the teams that operate too high at one of the highest rates in the league. Marvin Mims has been excellent against too high during his recent run. So, yeah, like that quite a bit. Also, everybody's going to be on Sutton, so you're zigging while everybody's zagging. Or I guess you're zagging while everybody's zagging. I don't know what the hell the terminology is. I like that.
I kind of think the game goes over the total, if I'm being honest.
Is that your play for this one? You like a little over?
Yeah, if I was to make a play, it would be. You know what? I might just bet it. So you got to think of the implied score here with the line and the current total 40.5. Denver's laying 10.5, which means the Chiefs team total is what 14.5, 15. We really think the Chiefs become one of the
13.5.
13.5. So Denver needs this game. We should see their best fastball offensively against the Chiefs' second team defense. I think Denver's going to be able to score. And I mean, if Carson Wentz can put together 2 touchdown drives, I think it goes over the total. So 40.5. Look, guys, again, I'm just spitballing here.
Yeah.
Toast.
It's funny that you mentioned, what's his face, Carson Wentz, because I was kind of thinking him anytime touchdown because he doesn't have anybody to throw to. It's going to be a big old high number. It's like plus 550, 600 or something like that. I'm just saying, like, I'm at a point this week where I'm just going to take small $30, $40 shots on big touchdown scores and see what happens. But I can see him rumbling, stumbling, bumbling into the fucking end zone. So
what could you see him doing?
Rumbling, stumbling, and bumbling.
Oh, okay. Rumbling, stumbling, and bumbling.
I have seen a few of those in my day.
Thank you, Beaver.
And just to go off that real quick, DeAndre Hopkins, I don't know if he's ever going to play at all in this game. Maybe they throw him in by the goal line, but he gets a $500,000 bonus if he scores 1 touchdown.
Now those I kind of like because it's like you just got to get one play. It's like
he's plus 400.
And he's also probably got Pat Surtain on him, which is the only thing that's kind of helped. But yeah, I do like that as well. Okay, so one of my other top bet besides Foster Moreau, my other 1.5 unit bet this week, I'm going with Jaleel McLaughlin. So first off, let's start with a joke. How cold am I right now? The Chiefs have allowed 9 of 10 running backs in their last 6 games to cash their yards line. We bet on the single one who didn't go over their yard line, Joe Mixon. He actually was over the line before losing 3 yards on his final 2 carries. Fun stuff. So we still can't play scared here. There's obviously some clear value to be had fading this Chiefs rush defense. I mean, if you look, weeks 1 through 11, they allowed 3.7 yards per carry, a 30% success rate. Weeks 12 through 17, 5.2 yards per carry, a 37% success rate. So a whole 1.5 increase in yards per carry and also a whole 7% increase in success rate, allowing 35 more yards per game. And McLaughlin's on fire right now. I mean, this dude has cleared the mark in 3 straight healthy games, 65 yards per game, 10 attempts per game, 6.4 yards per carry. His rush attempts line in this one is set at 8.5, juice to the over, and with just 7+ attempts, this is a man over 8 of 11 career games, averaging 50 yards per game, with 8+, 6 and 1 to the over, averaging 55. Now we got in the fact that this Chiefs rush defense, not only is it crumbling, it's sitting 4 members of its front 7, and the Broncos are 11-point favorites here with a likely positive game script for us. I see way too much value on this one to just play 1 unit, so I'm playing it for 1.5. Really like McLaughlin here.
I like that one.
Thank you.
Yep, it was. I had 2 bets in this game I like, and that was one of them. So that was a good one.
Thank you, sir. All right, Mimsy and McLaughlin, bring it home for the fellas.
Finally, we get to talk Jets ball.
Fuck, man.
I've been sitting here waiting to talk Jets ball. I've been itching for Jets ball for an hour. They're favored in the game against a team that needs to win. The Jets are favored here against a team that needs to win. The reason for that is the current variation of the Dolphins team that's going to be on the field in this one. Steve, do you have a lock?
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for setting me up there. I have a lean Devontae Adams touchdown because he really wants to catch the 500 touchdown. He caught 100 and 200 for Aaron Rodgers, and he's actually had 5 touchdowns in the last 5 games. So he's going to be guaranteed red zone looks.
Didn't have one last week because I was on it the same goddamn thing as you, thinking the same thing. That bastard.
Yep. Nope, it was 5 and 4 games, and then he had last week off. So I'm assuming he's going to get some targets, plus 145, something to sprinkle on. Why would you ever bet this game? I mean, it's just maybe they want to go out and Aaron Rodgers' possible last game. Tyler Huntley is absolutely garbage. Nothing.
Absolutely garbage. Just a little crazy. I would probably just go, and actually I could see myself getting down on this Jets team total over 19.5. I know that the Jets look terrible, and I had an over in that Jets-Rams game, so we just lost playing something similar. But the Dolphins have been susceptible to downfield passing for pretty much most of this year, especially the second half of it. So you can throw the ball downfield on this Dolphins defense. What you can't do is run the ball on Miami. They've been one of the best run defenses in the NFL down the stretch. In the second half of the year, no one's been able to run the ball in Miami. That's fine because the Jets couldn't run the ball in Texas Tech right now. So the Jets are just looking to to throw the ball, and Rodgers playing for nothing. Devontae Adams, like they talked about, looking for that 500 touchdown pass and all that. I think we're just going to see him air it out, and I'm a little worried that I almost gave the speech I gave for the Jets Rams sounded very similar to that. We should just see the Jets have fun, air it out. Final score it was like 6-6 in the fourth quarter.
He's a real bastard, that Aaron.
People, dude, there were some pissed off people. I guess the speech I gave was pretty compelling because there was a lot of hateful comments about that over after. Like, people hated that over. So yeah, I like this one. Jets team total over 19.5 against. In a game, they're looking to just air it out against a defense that I actually think they match up pretty well against.
I'll tell you what, Kyle. I think the Jets would have had a lot better time moving the ball that game if they would have looked at their best receiver. But I don't know. Who knows?
We don't need here. Prop Beaver's going to get political here. Your opinion on Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams has crossed the line into political.
Then I'm not going to get political on the show. I think probably
real quick. For those of you that don't know, Prop Beaver is very passionate about Garrett Wilson should be the focal point of the Jets offense to the point where he comes to the office and if he starts talking about it, you just put like headphones on. Like he'll be done in 5 minutes.
It's just we sacrifice his future so that old guys can play catch. It just it infuriates me. So
I know those people.
Yeah.
Okay, Beaver.
Yeah, it really blows my mind. So I'm sorry about that. I think the smart move here probably is what Kyle said, either that team total over, or if you want to just take away that run game that is ineffective against that Miami rush defense that's fantastic, just play some Aaron Rodgers props. I hate Aaron Rodgers with a burning passion, or if you to place my money on him, I hope the worst for him. So yeah, I won't be doing that. I'm not going to watch the game. I hope we lose. We're not gonna, because that's what we do. We're going to win, and that sucks. Yeah. Fuck. Toast?
I was just going to say real quick, did you hate Aaron Rodgers this much before he was a Jet? I'm assuming yes.
I loved Aaron Rodgers. I thought he was the man.
Okay.
I hate his guts.
Oh, yeah. The heel turn for Beaver and Aaron Rodgers is an all-time classic. Absolutely all-time classic. It was I played Jonnu Smith anytime touchdown at plus 210. He got one from Huntley last year. And hold on, let me find it. I wrote this down. I found a cool note. Out of Huntley's 10 career passing touchdowns, 8 of them have been to tight ends. So like I said, I've just taken shots on guys with anytime touchdowns at plus 200 or better. I thought that was the best one in this game. But $30 on.
What a deep dive. 8
Thanks,
of
buddy.
Huntley's touchdowns have gone to tight ends. That's crazy. That's a good one.
That actually is nice.
You read a little articles, you get a little things. I'm not going to act like I found that myself, but I did find it.
If I was making a play on the Miami side, I would look towards rushing over of some kind. I mean, these cold weather games with Miami, right? They can't tend to come out and run the ball. The Jets can't stop the run. So I would look, I'm not a DFS person, whoever's projected to get the most touches, whether it's HN, Mostert, look towards a rushing over maybe. Next game.
My short-term memory is severely damaged, but Toast, I'm going to remember that forever.
Short-term memory is damaged along with most other parts of your brain. Minnesota, Detroit.
But Tyler Huntley, tight end touchdowns, man. Woo! What a system.
My short-term memory is pretty damaged, he said. Minnesota, Detroit.
It's not doing well.
That's the youngest one on the show by far.
It's pretty damaged.
And he stopped smoking pot like 2 years ago. He doesn't even have an excuse.
No, I do the pot. No.
That's long gone.
Oh, my God. He's off the wagon.
He's a stoner again.
Oh, I'm sorry, Beaver.
But I got my health together. I got my life together in all other aspects. God forbid I have a fucking
God forbid he rips a dab.
Jeez.
All right. Minnesota, Detroit. So yeah, it would only be Vikings for me here. I haven't bet this yet, but I'm going to. It's the best game of the day. It's the one we're all going to be watching. I will say I wouldn't make this line 2.5. So it's not like I'm saying there's a ton of value on the Vikings at plus 3. But I think if you have to pick a side of plus 3, it has to be Minnesota with the current state of the Lions defense. Last week against the 49ers, that was concerning. I had the Lions team total over, so I didn't give a shit how many points the 49ers scored. But they were scoring them pretty easy there for most of that game. Wide open receivers, pretty much whatever the 49ers wanted to do, they were doing, and that's not a 49ers offense that's been particularly dangerous down the stretch here. So in my opinion, the only way the Vikings don't put up 30-plus points in this game is if Sam Darnold shits the bed. And let's not pretend that's not possible. Of course it is. But you know what? He keeps proving everybody wrong week after week. So as long as Sam Darnold has an average game, he comes out and plays somewhat like how he's been playing this year, Vikings should be able to score points pretty easily in this game. Now, look, the Lions are probably going to score points right back. Although I will say with Ivan Pace Jr. on the field, I think there's a chance the Vikings defense could make things a little difficult for Detroit, especially when it comes to running the ball. I by no means would I suggest the Lions offense is going to do nothing in this game. Of course, they're going to move the ball and score points. I just don't see how you lay a full 3 with them. So I'm going to be on the Vikings +3 in this one.
Go ahead, Toast.
I was just saying, I'm on the Vikings as well. They've looked like dog shit the last 5 weeks, especially defensively. I know they're winning games, but the Bears looked good against them. The Bills put up a whole bunch of points of them. The Niners actually looked pretty decent against them. I'm just not in a spot where I want to lay points with this team right now. So, yeah, I played Minnesota as well.
This is probably my favorite prop of the weekend, actually. I like Justin Jefferson over 6.5 receptions, -125 on FanDuel. This total, obviously, 56.5. It's going to be all offense. But
receptions. Oh, did I type the prop up wrong?
It's not a big deal. I'll just type it.
Okay, yeah, I skipped that one. He did send that. My bad.
That's right. It's only my favorite one. Let's talk. So JJ, over an 8 of 16 games, 6+ catches and 12 of 16. So we got a great floor here. He's over in 7 of the last 10, though. He had a little lull where he was getting double teamed. Jordan Addison was taking over. He's starting to catch back up again. And if you don't know him, he's a pretty decent receiver. He is over in 5 straight games, 10 and 8 receptions last 2 games. He had 7 catches versus Detroit last time, and obviously now Detroit is a much worse defense with all the injuries. In the last 3 games, targets 14, 13, and 11. Biggest game of the year. Big time players show up in those. And then the matchup. The Lions second to last in receptions allowed to receivers. And by the way, whoever the team that's first is the other team, the Vikings, giving up 240 receptions to receivers. The wide receivers in the last 3 weeks versus Detroit, Ricky Pearsall had 8 receptions. Juwan Jennings, 7. Keenan Allen, 9. Shakir had 6. I expect a big game from him. He's going to get peppered with targets. I love his over 6.5 receptions. And then my second bet in this game is just the same. Justin Jefferson, anytime touchdown. It's playable at -115. He has 5 TDs in his last 4 games. Vikings team total obviously is chosen to be around 3 to 4 touchdowns scored by them. So Lions surprisingly giving up the 6th fewest receiving touchdowns to wide receivers. But again, this defense is not the same. They just gave up 2 receiving touchdowns to wide receivers last week. Keenan Allen scored a couple weeks ago. This defense, we know all about it. I think Justin Jefferson gets in, and I think he catches 7 or more. If I had to pick a side, I just find it hard to believe the Lions lose at home in a big game like this. But man, this defense sucks. I will say that. So I do think Anzalone is back. It's one guy. I don't know if he is for sure, but
Toast. Oh, Toast took the Vikings. You already said it.
Yeah, I was gonna say yeah.
Yeah. So in this one, who do I got? I've got 2 plays for us. So the first one is basically just an SGP, pretty simple. Darnold, 250+ pass yards, 2+ pass TDs. I got that originally for -114 on ESPN, but I think you could still get -125 on ESPN. Normally a VIG to SGP. I mean, not exactly my style, I must go ahead and say, but in this scenario, I'm going to make an exception here just because, quarterbacks are absolutely cruising by this mark. This SGP against the Lions. Last 4 or 5 QBs to face the Lions have cashed the SGP. They're averaging 307 yards per game, 2.2 TDs per game. And Darnold's gone over the TD line in 12 of 16 starts this year, 6 of 7 road starts. Where it appears a bit more difficult is the yards line, just 7 of 9 to the over this season, but we should be expecting an absurdly efficient outing. The Detroit Lions defense has been horrendous as of late. With a yards per attempt of 8+, a feat 4 straight quarterbacks have hit against Detroit. Darnold's over his last 6 to 7 games, averaging 291. Lions run man and blitz, both at top 5 rates in the league. And Darnold sees sizable boosts in production against both. First in yards per attempt against the blitz, first in yards per attempt amongst the league, by the way, against man coverage. So this is a godly matchup. On top of that, What is Darnold really good at? The deep ball. The Detroit Lions defense, first and second in short and medium pass DVOA, 17th in deep ball DVOA. So I think that Darnold has a lot of tools to exploit this Lions defense in this one. I think he cashes the SGP that a lot of quarterbacks have been cashing against this Detroit defense lately. And then perhaps my favorite play in this one is Hawkinson over the 44.5 receiving yards. I think that's up to 45.5 now. Still would take it there. This may shock you, but TJ Hawkinson, not Justin Jefferson, has been the killer on this team against man coverage. I mean, since week 10, look at this. 0.34 targets per route run against man leads the team. 4.72 yards per route run leads the team. 39.2% of the team's yards against man leads the team. Compared to zone, 0.2, 1.51, 14.8%. I mean, these are massive boosts right here. And for Hawk to record 4+ receptions, that's priced as high as -250. With 4+ receptions this season, Hawk is 5-0 to the over, and over 18 straight games headed back to 2023, averaging 69 yards per game. Now, we do know this is a tough defense, Detroit, on the season. They've been very good against tight ends, but with all the injuries to their linebacking core, we've now seen 4 tight ends clear the receiving yards line in a row and 40+ yards as well. So I think there's going to be a lot of focus on JJ on the outside with Carlton Davis to be out. I guess me and Jabo, I conflict a bit in that regard, but I do agree that big-time players make big-time plays, and I think both guys can make plays in this one. So I like Hawkinson over 44.5 receiving yards here. I think everybody on the Vikings go over their mark here. I mean, goddamn, is this Lions defense bad? So, yeah, over Hawkinson yards.
Yeah, I completely get it if you're on Detroit, by the way. I'm not saying, like, I'll lock this in. If this line was 2.5, I would really be torn. It's the full +3 that makes me feel compelled to have to bet Minnesota. I'm not going to lay a full 3 with a team that can't seem to stop anybody right now. So, but I get it if you're on the Lions. I mean, that offense, it's all comes down to this moment at Ford Field. That offense is going to look good. Mm-hmm. So I get it.
It's gonna really suck if this game ends 13-10.
I've been thinking that the entire time. Like, oh god, like this. Everybody thinks this game is flying over. Like, what if we just get a shitter?
Yeah. All right, let's do the community parlay.
Let's clear that out.
Community parlay, the parlay we bet, yeah. Community parlay is for the community. We coming out, making a parlay. Yeah.
Sorry, my bad.
No,
they couldn't hear you.
No, just sincere toast right there.
It is.
Yeah. Alrighty. Let me put my underdog on the screen. Are you gonna do the poll, Kyle?
The what? Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool.
I can throw a couple bets in there. For college hoops today, played over 138 in Northwestern and Purdue. I played the Washington Huskies +8, Southern Illinois +8, and then under 138 in the Holy Cross American game as well. That Washington play is so disgusting, and I like it so much. Just wait for him to let me down. Just waiting for him to let me down.
Okay, Moreau.
Cast your votes. Steve, want to tell everyone where they can find your stuff?
Yeah, just a Bet Outside YouTube channel, also on Twitter. Just talk MLB, NFL, NBA every day, and have a lot of fun doing it. Give it a lot of research help as well. Also, just want to say I am thankful that you guys had me on this NFL season. These are some of the most genuine dudes you'll see in the business, and to be a part of the team is pretty cool. So just appreciate it, guys.
Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, and thanks to everyone for the support last couple days. It's been tough yesterday and today. For those of you that sent Andy DMs asking him about college basketball picks, like that meant the world to him.
That really
he loved it. He loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Every Discord tag, all that stuff.
Yeah, he loved it. I can't do it right now. All right, so we got the first leg is Bucks money line. They're 14.5-point favorites. The community's feeling really Aki today.
Very Aki of you guys. Rather Aki.
Oh no, they voted for the Jags.
Why is this Foster Moreau line getting reverse CLV, bro? What on earth?
I kind of want to bet the Giants.
Are they trying to tell me Foster Moreau's not goated? Because I refuse to believe otherwise.
Are they trying to tell me he's not?
I think they're
goated?
trying to tell you they're not scared of you, Beaver. They're trying to put you in a position.
No, I mean, they should be fucking terrified because Moreau, you don't put Moreau in a corner. 1 second. I'm getting
1 second. I got to double bet this.
No, 1 second. Let me put 3 units on it now. 1 second. 1 second. No, I mean, this is just ridiculous now. I was looking at for Moreau's historical lines, making sure I'm not like falling into a trap or anything. No, they put this guy at like 19.5 to 24.5 yards every week. And Moreau just says, guys, respect me. And they don't. It's ridiculous.
Did that line just go down?
Yeah.
I just saw it go down to 21. Is it just going down now? Because I see it going down too.
That's ridiculous. All right.
It doesn't make sense.
You know what else is ridiculous? The Pittsburgh Steelers offense. They can't even put Boswell in a position to score right now. I'm just want to say that. Just an absolute disgrace.
The Bengals had an opening drive touchdown in that game. After that point, they really didn't do much offensively. I mean, I know Burrow had a decent stat line. It wasn't that like, oh, he played terrible. But they had that opening drive touchdown. After that, they really didn't do much. I mean, the defense did everything to help Pittsburgh win that game. And the offense is just next level bad. At home against Cincinnati. Go ahead, Prop Beaver.
All right, so I got our underdog here. I personally am braving the Foster Moreau reverse line movement. I don't care what these clowns are saying. I think he'll go over, okay? This is a top bet. Screw them. So Foster Moreau, higher than 23.5 receiving yards. Jaleel McLaughlin, higher than 35.5 rushing yards. Michael Carter, higher than 59.5. And Hawkinson, higher than 46.5. If you're a new customer and you are afraid of the Moreau reverse line movement, you can replace that with Bijan Robinson to record higher than a half total yard. I mean, I would hope that's a lock. If you're also a new customer or would like to become one, you can in one of these yellow states right here. Just need that promo code BET, B-E-T, and you can get a deposit match up to $1,000. Yeah, that's our underdog today. I'll flash on the screen one more time. We got Moreau, we got McLaughlin, we got Carter, and we got Hawk. Those are the magical 4.
And for those of you asking about Andy's service and all, I was going to wait a couple of days and ask the family if they wanted to do that because a lot of people had offered to help,
which is
but
really
I didn't
nice.
want it to burden them with that right away. So I will. And as far as what we're doing on the show, we're definitely going to keep the dog walk of the day.
Yes,
because that was hilarious.
There was just no dog walkings we felt confident about. Trust me. The first sign I get, the first whiff I get, I'm whipping it out.
Yeah, no. Well, we need to make a graphic, like a little jingle for it. The dog walk of the day.
Yeah. We also need a dog walk of the day shirt or something for Andy.
Yeah,
like I would really like that personally.
Yeah.
And I want to do something for March Madness. Something. I don't know what. Yeah, maybe a big competition, like giveaway or something that goes to a non-pro. I don't know. But something because obviously he's a college basketball head, so maybe something fun for March Madness or.
Just when Georgia's starting to shit the bed too, I miss him so much. I just want to text him so bad.
Yeah.
He was just getting sharp in college football.
I know, dude. That was like yeah.
Yeah. So what legs do we have right now? Hold on. Let me scroll up. You got Chargers money line, you got Falcons money line, and you got Bucks money line, and it's going to be Commanders money line to finish it out.
Okay. So.
Chargers, Falcons, Bucks, Commanders.
I was thinking about doing an Asa Newell top 5 NBA draft pick because I feel like Andy's just going to will him to the top 5 of that draft.
I can see it. Chargers, Falcons, Bucks, Commanders. All right. And then what are the odds for that? All right, folks, don't get too excited. Plus 131.
Oh, okay.
We got a plus 131er here, folks.
Wow.
It's week 18. We got the Chargers, we got the Falcons, we got the Bucks, and we got the Commanders.
Guys, save some trim for the rest of us with this.
For the love of Christ. Come on.
Plus 131. Everyone, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support last 24 hours.
Yes.
Have a good one. Please bet responsibly. Hit me up in the Discord if you need me. Yeah. Enjoy your Sunday, guys. Playoffs